President, and I move to take note of answers to all questions asked by coalition senators today. And I've got to be honest, I actually really don't know where to start. What a disgraceful effort. I mean, seriously, the dithering, the incompetence, the blatant ignorance, the casual sexism on full display today was unbelievable. And I mean, to Senator Shoebridge's point there about ChatGPT, I can tell you, Senator Farrell could have probably done with it today and started by putting in what is aggregate demand, because it was very clear that he didn't even know what the term meant, let alone how this government has any plan to lower it. They don't even know what the economic term is. It is so embarrassing that basic economic principles are a complete mystery to this government. They have absolutely no understanding. And we saw, half an hour of a fundamental stunt by those at the end of the chamber, supported by those opposite. It's like this constant little filibuster we're seeing this week, because there's not quite enough to pad out the agenda for a Senate-only sitting week. So we're doing everything we can to make the very small amount of business that we've got. We haven't actually passed a bill this week, you'll all be interested to know. It's a great use of everybody's time. Not a bill. Not one. Not a one. 3 days. 3 days. Yeah, where's the guillotine? They love that. And I think we'd actually support it at this stage because, it was a bill. It's going to go through. So let's just bring it on. But no, we can't do that, because then what are we going to talk about later? Because they're all non-contro bits of legislation that everyone's supporting with very few amendments. So what are we going to talk about? And this is the appalling behaviour of this government, aided and abetted by their mates at the end of the chamber, when all Australians are facing a cost of living crisis. And, The Guardian, not one of my usual sources of news, but I did notice even The Guardian, the cheer squad for those opposite, was commenting yesterday on the fact that half of all Australians are already experiencing mortgage stress, and that was before the rate rise yesterday. So they were already in mortgage stress, cost of living pressure, and yet they don't understand basic economic terms. They waste half an hour on an absolute ridiculous stunt. I mean, if we want to talk about some of the inappropriate commentary that's been going on in this place, let's have a look at the support for Hamas that we've seen from some people in this place, and the beheading and burning of babies and murder of families, murder of young people that were at a music festival in Israel, but yet somehow an offer of a lift to the airport is the most offensive thing that's ever been heard in this chamber. What a joke. And all this at a time when the average Australian family with a mortgage of around $750,000 now has to find an extra $24,000 per year. It's not really change, that most of us have down the back of the couch. Maybe, some of those that got payouts from the union before they headed into the Senate on the ALP ticket got a bit of a payout or had a bit of boost from them. So that $24,000 is not a lot to them, but to most Australians it's a lot of money. And in fact, it's $24,000 after tax. So it's an awful lot of money that families have to find and earn to be able to just afford their mortgage. And this is before they even think about putting food on the table that's gone up over 8%, before they turn the lights on. Heaven forbid, when we have a really hot summer this year, that anyone wants to put air conditioning on, because no one can afford their power bills. But those opposite, the transparency stuff's just gone. I mean, it's just, don't even say that word. It's such a joke, the opaqueness that they operate under. And the referendum was an election commitment, so we had to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on that election commitment. But the election commitment of reducing power bills by $275, well, that one's just gone by the wayside. They cannot even mention the name $275. But this government have become the government of Grinch. They are going to do everything they can through their economic vandalism to destroy Christmas for so many Australian families this year. It is absolutely obscene. And here they are laughing and joking about the mortgage stress that families are going to be under. The senator that was just having a good chuckle about the government of Grinch, you know what? You go and talk to those Australian families who are now wondering how they're going to pay the mortgage because of your economic recklessness and inability to understand even basic economic